Let me first of all recognize in our presence our President, His Excellency Charles Sovereign, and Mr. Sarah. Also my wife Melissa, and of course Dimitri and Isabel. You see, I have to call Dimitri and Isabel's name because if I don't call them when I get home, they're going to say, Daddy, you call her name. Honorable Reginald Ostry, our Deputy Prime Minister. Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, Minister for Health and Social Services, and the Parliamentary Representative for the Petite Savanne constituency. My Cabinet colleagues here present. Your Excellency, members of the Diplomatic Corps. Mr. Lucien Blackmore, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Housing. Other Permanent Secretaries. Mr. Cyprien Defoe, the Chairman of the Bellevue Chopin Village Council. Father Franklin Coffey. Mr. Christopher Timmins, Project Manager of MMC and staff of the MMC. Mr. Maurice Gist, Chairman of the Petite Savanne Resettlement Committee. Mr. Oliver Samuel, Elder of the Brethren Assembly of Petite Savanne. Ms. Juliette Anselm and Mr. Fanuel Hilliard, beneficiaries and other beneficiaries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, friends all, good evening to you. I must say at the outset that I am particularly happy for the residents of Petite Savanne. 38 families who will be receiving keys to their brand new homes. We all remember the fateful day when we were struck in 2015 by Tropical Storm Erika. It brought great destruction to our country, with several communities affected, Petite Savanne being the worst of. Recognizing the fact that as a government, we needed to ensure the safety of our citizens and residents, we took a decision then, literally less than 24 hours after the storm, that we needed to relocate the entire community. We did so with safety as our main focus, because we recognize that for many of you, that's the only village you're known to be a home. And moving is always a difficult thing. But I want to thank all of you for recognizing the wisdom of the government and your parliament in advising you that we should relocate you. Because when we look back at the destruction which was wrought on our country, there is no way we could have, as a government in good conscience, have you resettle in Petite Savanne. But when we were struck by Tropical Storm Erika, this government decided that it was going to build back better. And we said to you, the citizens and residents of Dominica, that in the process of building back better, if we were to be struck by a similar event of Erika, that which we would have built will withstand the ravages of that storm. Now, there are some, as always, who will not be able to catch the vision at the point of its determination, because there are many people who go according to the doctrine of Thomas. They must see to believe. And we have seen, unfortunately, we were visited by Hurricane Maria. But all of the pieces of infrastructure which this government was able to lay down after Tropical Storm Erika withstood the ravages of Hurricane Maria. In your case here in Bellevue Chopin, though the project was not completed, not one building was impacted by the hurricane. Not one piece of road was impacted by the hurricane, because we built back better and we're building resilience. And as the project manager indicated, that you will see no poles or telephone lines or electrical lines. And if we're to be visited by a storm in the future, and this community and this country will be impacted, you will be among the first communities to be able to get your lives back to normal, because you will be able to get lights faster, and water faster, and telecommunication services faster. And this is what the government has expressed in its vision in creating the world's first climate resilient nation. It is not that we will be able to prevent hurricanes and storms from coming, but when they do come, we'll be in a better position to withstand them, and if impacted, be in a better position to bounce back quicker. And that's what it is. And that's what has been manifested here this evening. Part of the government's broader vision for this country. One thing you can say for this Labour Party administration, that when it makes a promise to the people of Dominica, it delivers on the promise. It may take longer than some of us expected. It may take longer than we ourselves would like for it to take, but we deliver. And there were many people in this country, some in this country, who would tell you that would never happen, and who try to put all kinds of negativism in your minds and in your thinking. But I thank God for your resolve and for your greater understanding and appreciating what your power and the government was seeking to do for you. Because a lot of things which this government, this Labour Party administration has done and is doing and will do for people are being done because of the empathy and the solidarity and the love which we have for people. It is not that the government must do these things, because the point is governments before us did not do these things. I'm not a very old person in age, though I think, mind-wise, I am 85 years of age in terms of experience. But I, for example, went to university and financed it myself, even utilizing credit cards to pay. So the students who are receiving scholarships today and government grants, you're not getting it because the government must do it. When the government announced in the independence address that it will cut your student loan by 40%, it is because the government recognizes its commitment to you and its willingness to assist you in being a better person. That's what we're doing. So when we make a promise, we will keep that promise. I want in a very special way to recognize the leadership and the guidance provided by Dr. Darrow in this whole process. From day one of the storm, he was at the forefront of providing leadership, comfort, and guidance to his people. And that's what we're about. It is about people first. And he placed you, the people of Petite Savanne, before himself and before the needs of his family. And he did not abandon you. He stayed there. He slept under the skies being your roofs and the wet ground your bed. He stayed there with you throughout to ensure that every single person was brought to safety before he left. And he has journeyed with you up to this day, where he can be part of a process of handing a key to a brand new home to you, the people of Petite Savanne. So, what more can you really ask for? And so we have to show gratitude Because if you read the Bible very carefully, it speaks a lot about giving thanks and thanksgiving. The Bible is littered with the words, the phrases, give thanks. And by giving thanks, it means showing gratitude. Something good has been done to you, say praise the Lord and thank He who has dealt with it on behalf of the Lord. You cannot, as in the Bible says, if your child asks you for fish or bread, you give him a snake. You have to reward love with love. And in many instances, you have to even reward hate with love. And that's what we're about giving love, because this is a party and a government that cares for people. That cares for people. We're not here to play politics with people's lives in the future. We're not here to play games with people's future. A life is too precious. A human being is too precious for people to play politics with your lives in the future. And I'm saying to Dominicans, because some of us sometimes, we allow little emotion and vexation to cause us to do things and to say things that can be injurious to our present and our future, especially for our children. We cannot not recognize the importance of a human being. And Dr. Darrow, I didn't tell you that, and I haven't told anybody in the cabinet this, but I have taken a decision in a show of gratitude to you that succeeding generations will recognize your contribution to the creation of this community, that this main street will be called the Dr. Kenneth Darrow Avenue. And there will be the appropriate signage so that succeeding generations can see. So whenever you drive by, whenever you walk by, you must be reminded of who to show gratitude to for doing this to the people of Bellevue. And in the conceptualization of this relocation of people, we do not want to just build buildings, homes, what do you call homes? We want to build a community to make you feel part of a community. That we don't just take you from Petite Savanne and put you somewhere and in a house and you can't turn left, you can't turn right. And this is why we took into consideration a number of things. The design of the homes. So we have homes, for example, recognizing that in Petite Savanne, there are children who are taking care of their parents. So we built duplexes so the children upstairs, the parents downstairs. You see what I'm talking about? And to do this, you have to know your people. Because we were building for people who we know. And that's the difference between us and others. So we have a health center here, a brand new health center will be constructed with nurses' quarters, a basketball court, a playground for the children, a brand new playing field, a market for the sale of fresh produce, agricultural produce, and a massive commercial plaza where the barber and the coiffeurs, the hairstylists, the little supermarket, all can have the businesses and take advantage of the economy and opportunities here. I want also to place on public record the government's appreciation and thanks to the developer, Dr. Anthony Hayden, who is the CEO of MMC, for his great partnership. Many of you will not have met him, but this is a gentleman who came to us just at the dawn of Tropical Storm Erika and said he could partner with us to create a housing program in our country. And in respect to this project, which is financed entirely by the Citizenship by Investment Program, that developer front-loaded the resources to start this project. He assisted us in paying for the lands, and he signed contracts and started work, and we did not pay him $1, not until after about 10 months after the project started. And we say to him, thank you very much. He is viewing this live. He's unable to be here. He's viewing this live. But we want to thank him and AMC and the staff of AMC, Mr. Timmins, exceptional project manager. Exceptional project manager, who has developed a very good relationship with the government and the various departments of government. I want to say thanks to you, Mr. Timmins. Today we will hand over 38 units. In January of 2019, God's willing, we will hand over 130 units. In February, we will hand over 34 units. In April, 81 units. And in June, 80 units, making a total of 353 housing units here in this community. And we're extending this project to the Granby constituency, with lands owned by the government opposite the Petite Secondary School, where we shall build an initial number of 68 residential units for the residents of the Granby constituency. And I'm saying to Nurse Charles, I haven't told her so. I'm saying a lot of things I haven't told anybody, you know. That housing development that will commence very soon opposite the Petite Secondary School will be called the Nurse Charles Housing Development. But I want you, the residents and the beneficiaries of these housing units, to care for them. It is not because you are not paid for them, you must not appreciate them like you pay. You went to the bank and get a loan to do so. I want you to care for them. I want you to maintain the flowers, maintain the cleanliness. And I'm speaking really to the converted here, because the people of Petite Savanne, you go to the homes are clean, the yards are done with plants and flowers. And so I'm speaking here to the converted, and I'm sure we will bring this kind of tradition that is known to the people of Petite Savanne here in this development. I want to caution you and all of us in Dominica that there are some jaundices in our country. People who are only focused on negativity, bitterness, and hatred. And I'm saying to us that this country of ours is too small for that. That yes, we'll always have differences, but we must not lose sight of the greater need for brotherhood and sisterhood. Being our neighbor's keeper. We have to address that issue among ourselves in our country. Address this in our country. So I am here, my friends, very happy for you. And these projects we have in Delis, in La Plaine, in Grand Fond, in Saint-Sauveur, in Cassibruce, in Georgetown in Portsmouth, in Lago, Portsmouth, Cotton Hill, Lago, Portsmouth. We also be unveiling the major housing program in Roosevelt. We'll also be extending this to Jimmet, where we're building some 68 units. Also Hillsborough Garden in St. Joseph, in my own constituency as well, in Marigot, in Wesley area. So, because it is our intention as a government to build some 5,000 new homes for people. And thank God we're well on our way to achieving this. Because we also have some $40 million that we have contracted from the World Bank, all of which will go towards building new homes for the people of Dominica. And I will say to you as well, and just to repeat and remind us, that what we as a country have done, and I say so with great humility, when you look back at where we were on the morning of the 19th of September 2017, to where we are now, my dear friend, we can do nothing but to say thanks be to God. Yes, we have a long road to travel, but we have traveled some distance. And people who come to our country, independent observers who come to our country, are lauding our efforts, are commending us for what we have done so far. And with the help of our partners, and I see our friends here, the government of Cuba, our friends here, the government of the People's Republic of China, and our friends here from Venezuela. These governments have been exceptional in their commitment to our country, giving to us from what they have, sharing with us as partners in assisting us to develop this country. So we want to thank them for the government's continued support. I will also say to us, as Dr. Dar indicated, that when people ask, what is the government doing with these CBI funds? These are the things we have been doing with the funds, to the benefit of people, tangible benefits to our people. And therefore, we have to continue to speak positively about our programs and our country. And whenever we have an opportunity as citizens to speak about Dominica, we must encourage ourselves to be positive. Encourage ourselves to be positive. Because we must not forget that one of our own fellow citizens, with an opportunity to speak to 100 million people, an advertisement that we will never be able to afford to pay, use that occasion to denigrate our country and to seek to destroy our country. And had they been successful, this would not be possible today. All of the homes that we have covered, spending millions of dollars to cover, would not have been possible. But you know, it is written that if the Lord is for you, no man can be against you. And the Lord is for us, and therefore all efforts by the enemy will not succeed. Will not succeed. I say to you, finally, my dear brothers and sisters, because it's getting late, and I know the 38 residents can't wait to get the keys and to go inside. I say to you, do not gamble. Do not gamble with the future of your children. Politics is not a scratch game. It's not a scratch. You go buy this place down there and you buy a scratch, and if you lose, you tear it and you throw it away. If you win, you run and you cash in what you will go. Voting is an important and solemn act. We can't be bad-minded about it. We can't be emotional about it. We have to be pragmatic, we have to be practical about it. And you live in Dominica, you see what's happening, you hear what's happening. And there is no party in Dominica that is more organized and serious than this Dominica Labour Party. So, I leave it to you. I leave it to you to reflect upon that. And when you kneel to pray to the Lord for thanking Him for a day that He has blessed you with and thanking Him for the day to come, you must reflect upon this. Because in all of your storms, in all of your tribulations, and in all of your tears and your hurt, the only people who you saw who were sincere and were there with you through it all was these people you see here today. Your power and your government. Others came to play politics. We came to restore lives and to give a listening ear and a warm shoulder to you. And today we are here handing over these homes. I can say to you, I am sure you know, a lot of them here who are not from Petite Savanne, those who are listening, must be saying, boy, I wish I was from Petite Savanne, you know. Saying, boy, look at his houses there, boy. But I say to them, do not be envious of what your brother has. I give you the assurance that the good Lord shall provide to you. And the good Lord is helping this government access the resources that it shall bring the same kind of development to you where you reside. Because we intend as a government to transform this country. To transform this country, not only where housing is concerned, but in terms of the infrastructure, the building of new ports, and certainly the building of the international airport for our country. And when you look at this, my friend, this is a 5-star resort where we are here in Bellevue Chopin. You can go to any Ritz-Carlton and this is comparable anywhere in the world. So you here now, and I can tell you, and without any fear of contradiction, there is nowhere in the Western Hemisphere where government is delivering that to its people at this time. So, my dear brothers and sisters, I thank you for being here this evening. And I know the residents of Petite Savanne very well. And I know that they are grateful people. They are God-fearing people. And they will follow in that great tradition. God bless you, and I wish you all the best in your home. Thank you very much.